Oh my goodness. I still love that intro. Look at that. Right. Timed it exactly right. Right at 6:30. Love it. Really, I've been sitting here for a minute. I probably could have done this a little bit earlier so I get more sleep. But hey, the blurred background's a little bit messing with me. Hope you all having a wonderful day. Going to talk about the power of positivity today on the Reflections podcast. Again, this is why I've been doing this. So every other week, this week is going to be like my mind, positivity, positive mindset kind of a chat. Next week will probably be conspiracy related. I also do a podcast with my buddy Ricky on Mondays with the Paranormal Truth Seekers, or I'm pretty sure that's what it is now, or Chronicles of the Mysterious Universe. I'm not sure, sir, which one of the names it is, but anyway, join us on Monday. We're going to be talking. I don't actually know what we're talking about this Monday, but we're talking about something conspiracy related, I'm sure. But today, I'm going to talk about the power of positivity. And I really got this idea the other day because somebody asked me how I could be so positive. It's a guy I work with, actually. And or he asked me, why are you so positive? Because I actually post, motivational messages on TikTok and Instagram every week. And it's just something that I've enjoyed doing. I get a lot of good feedback. I get a lot of people messaging me and be like, hey, you helped me out today. Somebody told me that I helped them out in a spiritual way, or, ultimately my goal for any of this stuff has always been to get people to think outside the box, to get people to maybe get out of their head for a moment and realize that, maybe there's a different way you can look at everything, right? And the reason why I'm so obsessed, with the power of positivity is because I know that I've used it on myself. I've been in the midst of a depression that you don't think is ever going to go away, or that, you don't think you're going to make it through, or come very close to not making it through, so I truly understand what it's like to be in the darkness for a long period of time and really not see the light. And it really is true that when you've been in the dark for a long time and you come out, like, the light is a lot more beautiful. You know what I mean? But to give a few reasons how, a positive mindset can improve your life. So a stress buster. A positive mindset equips you with better coping skills to handle stressful situations. You can see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than roadblocks. So this is a key to that anybody who's successful talks about is, you're always, no matter what or who you are, you're always going to face roadblocks. You're always going to face challenges in your life. But how you look at those things is going to dictate whether or not you succeed in life. And that's just the truth. Failure, any kind of, failure, any kind of roadblock, any kind of, you can look at it as, hey, that's a challenge. I'm going to step up. I'm going to do something about this. You know what I mean? That's a different way of looking at it, but you can't do that if your mindset is not positive. So that's one of the benefits. Having a positive mindset is also a happiness magnet. So positive thoughts foster a happier outlook on life. You focus on good things, savor positive experiences, and bounce back from setbacks better. We all know a person or two, or maybe 10 that looks negatively on everything, thinks that the world is out to get them all the time, and ultimately is just a bother to be around. It's a real Eeyore, right? From Winnie the Pooh. And the truth is, bad things are always going to happen to everybody. It just seems like maybe you got the crap into the stick. I used to believe that. I used to honestly believe I had terrible luck and that I was, a magnet for bad things. And to tell you the truth, it's the truth. So I don't necessarily believe in luck anymore, but I do believe in the law of attraction, and we're going to talk about that here a little bit. And the entire reason behind why the power of positivity works is due to that law. And there's a lot of different things that goes along with it. But again, having a positive thought, positive outlook on life will cause you to look at every scenario or situation that you get into differently. You'll be able to see the light in the storm. Anybody can, a storm can happen in your life, and you can either look at it as, hey, this is the worst thing ever. You can look at, hey, this is a really beautiful event. Simple as that. Positive mindset can also be a confidence booster. Believing in yourself and your abilities fuels your confidence. You're more likely to take on new challenges and persevere through difficulties. It's a big one. Being more positive, like since I have become more positive in my life, I have definitely become more confident in myself. I used to have no self-confidence. Like I was bullied all my life through school. And honestly, it destroyed any confidence that I had and made, people always told me I was never going to be good enough. People, and I believed them ultimately, that's horrible. And it took me a long time to realize that none of that crap is true. And most of the people who are doing the bullying are now, hey, same as me, struggling every day, going to work, no better, no worse. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things. So goal setter is another thing that a positive mindset can happen. Positivity fuels your motivation and determination to achieve your goals. You can set ambitious goals, believe you can achieve them, and take action to make them happen. If you're miserable all the time, chances are you're probably not out here setting goals. But fun fact, setting goals actually will give you a little bit of a high, you know what I mean, when you achieve them. So an opportunity magnet. So a positive outlook will make you more approachable and attractive to others. People gravitate towards those who radiate optimism and good vibes. I want you to think about that. Think about how infectious, a positive person can be, and like how people really genuinely want to be around them, because that's one of those things. It rubs off on the people around you, and it's like, hey, I want to be like this person. Those are the type of people you need to have around. And that's the goal that I have every day when I go out, is I try my best to be as positive as possible, to try to help anybody and everybody that I meet, in just a little bit of what. Do you have no idea how much like a simple smile or hello, how's your day can mean to somebody who's struggling and may, haven't seen the light of day in a long time. It's super duper important. So another thing is a healthier you. Studies suggest that positive thinking can improve your physical health. It may lower blood pressure, strengthen your immune system, and even reduce your risk for certain illnesses. Think about that. So having a positive mindset, studies show, can lower your blood pressure, strengthen your immune system, and even reduce your risk of certain illnesses. Why do you think that is? So think for a second. A lot of people don't really look deeper into that when they read something like that. And I'm here to tell you, like, why do you think they have, when somebody's battling cancer, they tell you that mindset is literally everything. It literally is. If you accept death when you're battling a disease that could kill you, you're just going to die. You know what I mean? Your body's not going to fight it. But if you have this mindset that I'm going to beat this, I'm going to win, you have a lot more of a fighting chance. It's the same thing with being positive. It's you believing yourself that you can conquer anything, believing that no matter what happens, you're going to, go forward. And that's a big one. So that also goes like with the subconscious mind, is that the power of positivity, it can literally make you, less susceptible to disease, according to this. Let's see. Relationship rocket fuel, according to this. Positive people are better at building and maintaining strong relationships. They radiate warmth, empathy, and support, making them enjoyable to be around. Seems pretty straightforward. So another one is another of the 10th. The 10th reason is infectious inspiration. Your positive attitude can rub off on others. By uplifting those around you, you create a ripple effect of positivity that benefits everybody. And that right there, that's literally the whole reason, that I started doing these morning motivational talks, is because I want to cause a ripple effect. I want to make, somebody who may be having a bad day have a more positive day. And what that does is that takes that person who could have been, hey, he might have just went off on somebody. That person may have lost it today. But instead, maybe this person's going to say, hey, have a great day. You look beautiful today. You have a pretty smile. You're freaking wonderful. You're awesome. You know what I mean? And thus having a ripple effect. So how can we, as groups, as people, teach others to be more positive? So one of the ways, obviously, is to lead by example. Be positive yourself. The best way to influence others is to embody positivity yourself. So maintaining a cheerful demeanor, focusing on the bright side, and avoiding negativity. A lot of my friends will get mad at me, like when they tell me, problems and stuff like that, because I've always been a focus on the bright side kind of a person. And like, what are you going to do? I mean, some people, like, I learn now in my, as I've grown older, that it's some people just want you to listen to them. They don't necessarily want you to offer advice. So I learn now to, hey, man, ask him, do you want my opinion on this? And person, oftentimes, because I've had a lot of life experience, a lot of things that made me have a big worldview on stuff, like, people tell me that I give good advice, but I learn now that I don't just offer that without asking somebody. It's important to be like, hey, do you want my advice on this subject? And then getting them to maybe look at something in a different light. I'm always, again, I'm a look on the bright side kind of dude. That's what I've always been. There was a phase in my life when I was trapped in alcoholism and stuff like that. I was super negative, looking on the, oh my God, I'm cursed, kill me now, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, practicing gratitude is another way that you could lead by example. Expressing gratitude for the things in life sets a positive tone, encouraging others to do the same, whether through journaling, sharing what they're thankful for in group settings, or simply mentioning things that they appreciate. I try to do this with my kids. I try to get them to say, stuff that they're grateful for every day, because when you focus on the things that you're grateful for, the things that you have in your life, it builds this into your mind. The more you do it, the more you talk about it every day, the more it builds a habit. It's not, people make the mistake of trying to do this positive thing and they're doing it, hey, I'm going to do it today, but I'm not going to do it tomorrow. So with anything, it takes, a couple weeks to really build a habit into your brain. I think it's like 10 days or something like that of doing something repetitively to build a habit, right? So practicing gratitude, have something that you read every day. I have the thing that's gratitude affirmations, and I've read it pretty much every day for the last 7 years now. And it's one of those things that's truly helped me rewire my brain. Again, I used to be a really negative person. So when people tell me, hey, how are you so positive? The truth is, like, I've been miserable inside most of my entire life. I force myself to be more positive. I force myself to look at things differently. I force myself to try to look on the bright side of all the things, because, I've really been through the darkness. So I know that it's not going to do me any good when something happens to me to sit and dwell on it and focus only on the negative. Obviously there's things that are going to happen that it's impossible to look on the positive side. I'm not ignorant to that idea, because, like, a lot of people hit me in the comments and be like, well, how do you maintain positivity? How do you look on the bright side when your parent died? Like, bro, I mean, listen, don't be ignorant. Like, obviously you can't look on the bright side of absolutely everything. Like, I mean, the only thing that would come to mind there is, hey, at least they're in a better place. You know what I mean? At least they're not suffering if they were sick or whatever. But obviously you catch my drift there. Another way that you can teach others to be more positive is help shift their focus. Reframe challenges. Ask them. This is like, really, if somebody comes to you for advice and you really want to be a good advice giver, like, you need to learn how to teach somebody to be more positive. That's what this is going with. So this is stuff that I do when people ask me for advice. Help them reframe negative situations into opportunities for growth. Ask questions that prompt them to see the silver lining. What can you learn from this? It's such a bot term. It sounds like something like a manager would say to somebody. What can we learn from this today? How are you going to be a better employee and not yell at somebody today? Where I work, this is pretty relevant. So whatever. So another way is challenging negative thoughts. When someone expresses negativity, gently challenge their thoughts. Ask them to consider alternative perspectives or phrase their statements in a more positive light. What does that mean? When someone expresses negativity, gently challenge their thoughts. A lot of people don't accept you challenging their thoughts. A lot of people get butthurt or bent out of shape when you do this, but Indeed, our job. Yes. Dude, these things are like being positive, when you work with the public is a real freaking struggle. It can be. And it's like, honestly, my positivity points have gone down the more I've been working with the public. But this is kind of why I'm talking about this too, is because it's a refresher for me. I put together this list of things to read so I can start practicing it too. Because the only way you can, again, teach others to be more positive is to be more positive yourself. So anything I do, anything I talk about is stuff for me as well. Like anything I'm doing in my podcast, when I do my little motivational messages, it's really for me. It's a reminder, hey, you can do this. You can, be better than you were yesterday. So another way you can empower positive habits is focus on solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Encourage people to brainstorm solutions. Guide them towards focusing on what they can control and taking action. This is a big one for people with anxiety. People who suffer from anxiety love to focus on crap that they cannot control. We have no control over. That's just a fact. I've had anxiety my entire life, so I know this to be true 100%. And, you get inside this like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Everything, start to focus on all this crap outside of your control. And it's never going to fix anything. You can never control, you can never control anything outside of what you can control. God, that was tough to say. I'm struggling here, but that's important to keep in your mind. Like I'm going to give an example. So I used to focus on like end of the world prophecy. I'm a big conspiracy buff, and I was reading everything possible on this. And like, I used to be like, oh, doom and gloom, the world's going to end here. Maybe it's going to end here. And then you realize that's outside your control. You have no control of whether or not the world's going to end tomorrow. You have no control of what this person thinks of you. You have no control of, what that person thinks of you. All you can do is control you and how you react in your day to day. Anxiety is bad with me too. Look, man, it's no coincidence that we are friends, my friend. The law of attraction, like attracts like, we are very similar. Anxiety is something that I have literally diagnosed with social anxiety disorder. So even doing, like I've told you a million times, even doing like these live streams is like something I have to really work my way up to working. So it takes me outside my comfort zone. And that's part of the reason why I like doing it. And working where we work with the public, it's something that's helped me get outside my comfort zone a lot. But so another way is, remember, being patient with people, building a positive mindset takes time and effort. Do not get discouraged when it doesn't happen overnight. Like you're not going to build a habit by doing it one day. You're not going to build it by doing it 2 days. It's going to take you a couple solid weeks of doing something to truly build a habit. And that's what people mess up when they do the whole manifestation thing, when they do, these manifestation journals, is that they do it for a couple days and they give up. And the fact is, you have to treat it like, first of all, like, I don't know why I'm talking about manifestation all of a sudden, but hey, whatever, it works. It's along the same idea. So you have to, first of all, have a burning desire for what you want. Yes, believe me, wanting fast results is my problem too. So this applies to literally everything in your life, working out, working on your mind, working on yourself. We all, because we're so programmed by the social media world and this instant gratification, we want this instant results. And when we don't get it, a lot of times people give up. And that's where people go wrong. You know what I mean? You have to first set a goal. Hey, it's not just about going to the gym. Say you want to lose 10 pounds, for example. I'm going to lose 10 pounds by this date by doing X, Y, and Z. And you write that down and you stick to that. You work on that goal like you've never worked on any goal in your entire life. And when you hit that, it will release the amount of dopamine that you've never had in your life, because you against all odds, worked on the goal that you set up for yourself. And that's for anybody who's ever suffered, from ADHD, anybody who's ever suffered from trauma, anything like that. Goal setting and accomplishing your goals will give you a high like you've never had. It will make you get addicted to it, but it takes, twice as much effort as picking up your phone and sitting and scrolling TikTok for 17 hours. You know what I mean? Or 10 times as much effort. It's a lot easier just to vegetate on the couch and just swipe some videos. But believe me, I get it. Like, I understand exactly what it means because I've been a procrastinator and everything my whole life. But so I wanted to talk about, I'm about running out of time. I didn't just drone it on here. So how does being positive actually affect our brain scientifically? So the positive mindset affects several areas of the brain that work together to enhance your well-being. Here's some key players: the prefrontal cortex, this area associated with higher order functions like decision-making, planning, and problem solving. Positive emotions boost PFC activity, leading to sharper thinking, better focus, and increased creativity. So the limbic system, this region houses the amygdala, which processes emotions, and the hippocampus, involved in memory and learning. Positivity activates the reward pathways in the limbic system, releasing dopamine and other feel-good chemicals. This reinforces positive experiences and motivates you to seek out more of them. The ventral striatum, I'm just butchering that one, I'm sure. Located deep within the limbic system, this area plays a central role in the brain's reward system. Positive emotions trigger activity in the ventral striatum, making you feel happy and motivated. Am I getting to you yet? So this is the biggest one. So how does being positive affect the subconscious mind? And the reason why I say this is the biggest one is because the subconscious mind is what is really, running your feelings of anxiety. This is what is drumming up all the non-thinking portions of your brain. What's happening in your day-to-day life, like your triggers, your depression, your anxiety, the stuff that comes up out of nowhere is coming from your subconscious mind. So the only way around that is to reprogram your mind by constantly, by setting up new habits. So as you go around in your day-to-day, people encounter triggers, especially for people who have had, traumatic experiences in their life. You may encounter something in your day that drums up, it happens to me because I have PTSD. So I lost my daughter a few years back. So sometimes I come across things that make me think of that. And I get welled up with depression. So anytime, that happens, I try to, first of all, change my focus onto something else. And because there's obviously nothing I can do about that when it happens. But I know that I try to take deep breaths. How do you break old habits? This is, where I'm going with this. So anytime you say like an old habit, like choose smoking, for example. So you find out what your triggers are, especially for people who are trying to quit smoking. If you know your trigger is going to the bar, you're going to smoke or you're going to drink, obviously you need to avoid that or set up something alternative to do when you do that. So it's all about reprogramming your automatic reactions, the reactions that you have no control over, like with alcoholism, drug addiction, all of that. So there was Matthew Perry said something before he died, and he talks about, before I have my first drink, I have all the control over whether or not I'm going to drink, right? But after that, something else takes over. And what that is you are suppressing your conscious thinking mind, and then you are letting your subconscious take over. Then you become on autopilot. That's the part of you that is breathing without you thinking about it, is beating your heart without you thinking about it. It's the part of you that gets you into all these bad habits without you thinking about it. So in order to do that, you got to set up something different, like positive thinking is one of the ways that you can, get rid of depression by constantly telling yourself, opposite things. So instead of letting yourself get down on yourself, hey, I freaking look terrible today. Instead, every time you see yourself in the mirror, hey, I look freaking beautiful today. I'm a wonderful looking guy. I lost 5 pounds today. Hey, man, I may be 5'5.5". I stole that from Cat Williams. Don't judge me. Like that's the way you start with breaking old habits. First of all, you have to identify what habits you want to break. If you want to break overeating, that's focus on when that happens. What is your triggers that cause you to eat? A lot of people eat their feelings. So you start to realize as you look at everybody in this world, like everybody's addicted to something, and it's usually They're trying to run from dealing with their emotions inside of them. I like to say we build entire realities around running from our problems. And some people go to booze, which is something I used to do. Some people go to drugs. Some people go to sex. Some people, the list goes on and on about how people run from their problems. And so once you start to identify triggers, that the things that are making you go to these, you can start to rewrite, what we can go to instead of going out and eating Jack in the Box when you're depressed. You go and maybe eat a salad and walk around the block. Do exercise or something like that. But there's really no simple way. Like I don't know all the answers about how to break old habits. I just know that I can tell you things that I've done. I can tell you things, ways that I do. I'm still working on. I still got bad habits I got to fix. You know what I mean? Shit, I still emotionally eat every once in a while, but I can tell you how I stopped drinking. I mean, I know in the back of my mind that drinking, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to solve any of the problems I have in my life. Like, I definitely enjoyed the person that I was at some times when I drank. That's the truth. It's one of the only ways I was able to unlock myself and be amongst people. Because again, I'm social anxiety disorder, but I know that is honestly a crutch that I don't need. And all it's going to do is it's going to start out as, hey, I'm just going to drink today. Then it's going to be, hey, I'm going to drink tomorrow. Then I'm going to drink because of this happened. Then I'm going to drink because of this happened. And it's the same way with anything. You can, I know myself, and I know that I can't just go and have a few beers. That's unfortunate. Else maybe some people can. And I'm not saying that you can't freaking go out and have some beers if you can handle that. I'm just saying that it's for an alcoholic or for a drug addict. You can't just go and do one thing. You know what I mean? So again, identifying your triggers is one of the ways that you can help do that. So I wanted to mention the law of attraction before I run out of time. Holy crap. I didn't realize it had already been 30 minutes. So according to this, while not a scientific principle, the law of attraction proposes that our thoughts and belief attract similar experiences. A positive mindset subconsciously steers your attention towards opportunities and solutions, aligning with the actions of your goals. Like, a lot of people may scoff at the idea of the law of attraction, but for me, it's something that is proven over and over again. And the way you can change the reality around you is by consistently replacing anything. Anytime a negative thought comes up, replace it with something positive. I'm telling you, you have literally nothing to lose if you try that. You have literally nothing to lose to test out the idea of law of attraction or the idea of being more positive. Try it for a few weeks, see what happens. Not 2 days, not 3 days, a couple weeks. Nothing is going to happen if you try something for a couple of days. It's like you trying a diet for a couple of days. It's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Literally, you need to take time and actually, make a goal. Try it for a couple weeks. See what happens. See if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? For me, it's definitely changed my outlook on life. Again, I used to think I had terrible luck, that the world was out to get me. And in reality, I was making terrible choices and making excuses for terrible behavior. But anyway. I'm about out of time. Holy crap. That went well. I appreciate you jumping on here, Ricky, and or Den's Peon and asking some stuff. I'll chat with you a little bit more about breaking old habits. Put me on the spot. Maybe I'll actually make a video on this comment when I put a better research together on it, because that wasn't maybe I answered it all right. But anyway, hope you all have a wonderful evening. I appreciate you watching. Again, this is live, not scripted. I had a little bit of notes, but if you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Help me out. Law of attraction, synchronicity. Let's talk about this on Monday, sir. Let's chat about law of attraction and synchronicity on Monday. I will dive deep into that subject. Sound like a plan? All right, my friends. Hope you all have a wonderful evening.